Hey Irish, come on into the green room. Welcome back to the Shamrock Newspaper's official podcast. In today's episode, we will be interviewing ASB students, asking them how it's like planning prom and assemblies. Let's get into meeting our first guest. Please welcome our first guest.
My name is Sadie. I am a sophomore and I am Commissioner of Assemblies.
And if you can you walk me through the process of planning assemblies?
So it starts, each assembly is different. First, there's the homecoming assembly, then the winter assembly, then Irish week, and then clash. So it really just starts with whatever the theme is. The HOCO assembly obviously correlates to the theme. Winter assembly, I have more free reign of what I want the theme to be. And then Irish week is obviously centered around Kennedy and also all the different cultures. So it really just starts with what's the theme gonna be, and then I start thinking about who do I want to perform. And the biggest thing that kind of like structures the assembly is the timeline. So it's always the first thing I start with, and a lot of brainstorming. And then from there, start inviting those people that are gonna perform or participate in the games, planning the games. And as it gets closer to the actual assembly, I then have to worry about ASB, so the job list and who's going to be doing what and who's going to be helping me out. So that's kind of how it usually goes.
So when you invite the people on who you want to participate in assembly, what happens like when things go wrong? Like when they say yes at the moment and then when it comes, they get nervous and don't want to do it?
I think a lot of that is just, there's a lot of backup. So I always plan an extra game if we run early, which has always been a problem, or running too late. And then also just a lot of communication between whoever I'm inviting to participate. So a lot of the time it's athletes, or when it's the performers like band, choir, color guard, cheer. All of them are usually really excited to perform and want me to ask them.
Okay.
So there's usually not too many problems with that, but always just planning.
That's good. What's your favorite assembly to plan?
I think it was HOCO or the winter assembly because I had a lot of free reign of what to do. HOCO assembly was really fun because I liked the theme, the like stars and space was really fun, and the games, and I had a lot of ideas for that one. And same for the winter assembly, Candyland. I got to come up with that theme and all the decorations, and that was really fun. Irish week is a little bit more difficult because I have to stay in a box more. It has to be Irish theme. It has to celebrate the cultures, which I love, but it's less creativity.
Yeah. No, I think Candyland was my favorite one. It was really cute.
I was so happy when I came up with that idea.
How do you make sure that assemblies are engaging for both students and staff?
That one has been really hard because ASB does a lot of feedback, and we talk about every event we plan, and we talk about how we can improve on what we did good. And so making sure that people are excited for assemblies, that starts with, there's usually a spirit week for every assembly, so adding in that today's the assembly day, getting people hyped for that. And then also with the games and performances, I try to make sure that they're fun, they're entertaining, they're easy to understand. The game participants know what the game is and we've practiced it, but at the assembly we don't have as much time to explain it. So I always try to make sure that the games are simple, that you can just watch what's happening, you already understand what's happening.
Yeah. Do you guys reuse games or do you create like new games?
I know in the past they've reused games, but this year a goal of mine was to try my best not to reuse games because I know that's what makes things repetitive and less interesting. But at the same time, it's very hard to come up with game ideas.
Yeah. How does it feel knowing you're like pressured, like on the spot with the time?
It is so stressful.
Yeah.
But I think the help from ASB, I always just have a few of my friends or a few people that I know are going to be really great support, and I have them, they know what's happening, they know, what my ideas are to fix things, and they can give me support in that sense.
So if you were not to apply for the Commission of Assemblies next year, what would you give advice to the next person? Like if you were not going to run for it?
I think asking for help getting more, like, the more ideas and the more opinions and the more brains behind the assembly, I think is better, because it's just, when it's just one person, one ideas, I have always gotten into like a funk, or I get stuck, I can't think of anything. So just always ask for help, always ask for support. I think that's very important.
I have one last question. How is it planning assemblies and still making sure you get like all your schoolwork done, like the stress work on that?
Very, very difficult. But I think ASB is one of those classes where it's kind of hard, because there isn't like specific due dates, or isn't a specific assignment. It's, you have this much time to plan an assembly, there you go. And so it is something I've struggled with, but as I've done these past 3 assemblies, I've definitely gotten better at it. Schoolwork is so important, keeping my grades up, and then also remembering that the assembly is important, that the entire school is going to be there. So just trying to find that balance. I'm still working on it, but definitely getting better.
You're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back. Well, here's our second guest.
Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm junior class president.
So, how is the venue and theme planning for prom? How do you go about that?
It's kind of an awkward thing because we don't get, like, the current people in junior cabinet don't get to select the prom venue for this year. It's actually last year's people who did it. So everyone who planned last year's prom got to choose what their senior venue was. And we only found out about it like this school year too. But then we get to base our theme around it. So we were just throwing around ideas, and at first it was going to be like something Disney. Again, I won't lie. But then we were thinking about it, and it just made sense to have it Gatsby themed. So you really just base it on the venue, I feel like, and what people want.
I love the theme. I was like, oh my gosh, if it's Great Gatsby, it's amazing senior year. But what made you, was it just the venue that made you think of Great Gatsby, or was it you just want to be different?
I think that, plus the fact that we hadn't done it, like, our teacher tracks all of the themes that we've done and all of the, like, past, like, for every single dance. We just have a spreadsheet of what has been done already. So Gatsby wasn't on there. And I think it's kind of ironic that it's actually been exactly like 100 years since it was first released. So we're like, oh,
No
that's
way.
a good plus.
That's cool.
And yeah, and it was just something different for the student body, something they haven't seen yet, or at least like the people in school right now haven't seen. So
amazing theme. What challenges have you faced so far while organizing prom?
I think the biggest thing was the prom theme leak. Like, the second we came up with the idea, a week later, like, I was hearing it all around and everyone was asking, and we had like a secret code. It was
Really?
like, we would just like say it's like Arabian Nights, something like that.
That's funny. So you planned previous dances before.
Oh, yeah.
Is planning prom any more difficult, any harder, or are you like kind of used to it?
I think prom, in like some ways it's easier, in some ways it's harder. And like for prom, it's really a guarantee that you'll have like a bunch of seniors going, and you'll have a bunch of people going, because it's like you only get to go to it twice. Otherwise, like, it's just everything's bigger. Like, you have to expect that the tickets are going to be more expensive, that you have to make it more grand, just because it's like a very anticipated event for so many people, and you really don't want to ruin like the seniors' last dance. So it's a lot of pressure, but I think it's just as fun, if not more fun, than the previous dances I've planned.
What's your favorite part about planning prom, or about like any dance you planned so far, like prom specific?
I guess it's just like the fact that I get to know all the behind the scenes work that goes into it, and also just like getting to surprise the student body. I think that's one of my favorite things about ASB in general, is we work to serve all our students, and I guess our dances are like a big testament to all the work we've done. And it gives us a really good reputation like after, if it goes well. So I think that's my favorite part.
How do you handle the stress of like trying to make everyone, all the juniors, especially seniors, like happy? Like, some are unsatisfied, some are satisfied. Like, how do you go about that?
So every time like a cabinet tries to plan a dance, we always try to consider like the quieter kids, people who don't always want to be dancing all the time. So we try to have other activities for them. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but this is like a special reveal for the Shamrock, I guess. But this year we're gonna have caricature artists there, and like
No
casino
way.
tables.
Hello,
so it just
what?
goes in with a theme. And there's finger food, guys, so please buy your prom tickets.
Yeah, guys, go buy your prom. Go buy your prom
I
tickets.
don't think anyone knows that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say
It's
that,
okay.
but whatever.
How do you go about the prices?
Okay, so once you get a venue, obviously they most likely have planned a lot of proms there, and they give you like a set menu list. This year it was mostly based on like the per head like amount for the food. So there's 3 different menu options. We chose the cheapest one possible, as always. We always try to keep it low. And then when you pay, you end up paying for like the caricature artist and like the casino tables. That adds an additional cost. So we do only the things we think would be necessary, fun, but also keep it low. So it really just adds up, and it always adds to the price of the ticket. So we try to cap it at a point where we won't lose money, but we're not making a ton of profit in general, because it's not about us.
Yeah. Cool. How do you handle, because prom is like a lot in the second semester, how do you handle that with schoolwork?
Honestly, I'll say it now. We don't get a lot of time to work on prom just in class. Mostly it's like our meetings or whatever. But since there's the 4 of us, it's really nice that we can like split the work and do what we need to do on our own time whenever we're free. So it's just about balancing like what's most important to your actual schoolwork, because ASB isn't everything as much as we like to make it seem like it is. I think there's just an importance in like making sure that you're getting your things done in order to make like a greater product for everyone else.
Yeah. What are like the main things you focus on to make sure that prom is like the perfect night for everyone?
I think just also like having other activities to do for people, having a good DJ. This year was really important. We actually hired like, I don't know if you know the Dizons, like Shane Dizon. His dad is a DJ, so we hired them, and we're in like very close contact with them all the time. And this year we had like more options for the student body to really voice their opinions of what they wanted. Like right now we have our prom music suggestions out. So like,
smart.
if you want to suggest a song, it currently has like 530 responses already, and it closes in 2 weeks. And it's like, it just gets people excited. And also just making it like the decorations to theme, making sure the theme is like applicable to our student body, something that they'd actually enjoy. And based on like the pop that it received at its reveal, I think it was a good choice.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, and thank you for our amazing guests for being with us today. To see more from us, visit our website, thejfkshamrock.com, and follow our Instagram at thejfkshamrock. And with that, the doors to the green room is now closed.